Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Headspace Podcast. This episode 71. It's your boy HSR.
Yo, what up, guys? It's Chris Chrome.
And we are going to get into a full album review tonight. Before we do that, we are going to get into the housekeeping. In the description, you'll see where you can start the episode and skip this. But in the meantime, we are going to touch on our favorite comment from last week's episode on Triple X Tentation's ? Album. And this is from C. Debber or something. And as you can see, it's a doozy of a comment, so don't be shocked if I don't finish it. But the problem I have with this album is now it's basically a slightly longer, more versatile 17. The introduction does feel sort of preachy and almost blocking out criticism of anyone who doesn't get it. I agree. That's pretty much what I thought too. Mm-hmm. I like listening to what people who enjoy metal have to say about X because he's definitely got talent, but many metalheads don't like this whiny hip-hop sound with emo rock elements that he brings into the music. The tracks are generally short, as that's kind of part of the genre and of SoundCloud rap, and it kind of shows his inability to create lyrics that outlast one hook and one verse, but then again, listeners have a short attention span, etc., etc. As you can see, he proceeds to really go in to talk about him in detail. He references his older work, a whole bunch of stuff. It is one hell of an interesting and awesome comment, and I just wanted to share that with you. And I really just appreciate the fact that people ever just take the time to read anything that's that long. And I encourage you to hit pause on this video if you haven't finished reading it, and just check it out, because it's really cool to see the passion that people feel for the different artists that we end up talking about. We do have a request list available, so if you check in the description of this video, you'll see a link to a doc that has a bunch of requests that we've received so far. Going through the comments will add to the list, make it full and proper. And speaking of all the comments, as we're keeping track of them all, it's because we do have the grind to 1,000 subscribers contest going. So what that means is if you subscribe to the video, you like the video, and you leave a comment about the review, about the album, about something, you enter into our contest. And first prize will be $100 of Amazon gift card money, plus you get to request a review from us. Second prize is $50 of Amazon gift card money, plus you request a review. And third prize is $25 plus the review. And for every video of ours that you like and comment on, you get to have an additional entry into this raffle. Once we get past 1,000, and we're at 923 as of recording this, nice, we will go on YouTube Live with that Excel sheet, use a random number generator, pick some people. I'll get a hold of you. You'll give me your email address. I'll send you the money. Everybody will be happy. On that note, I think that's enough about that nonsense. Chris, why don't you tell the fine folk what album we are reviewing tonight?
Well, if I'm not mistaken, we went with Czarface and MF DOOM's collaboration album, Czarface Meets Metal Face.
Like Czar, Czarface.
I thought it was Scissor.
No. It's like Czar, like Caesar or something like that. One of the kings had that name, and it's like anyway. See, it's Czarface Meets Metal Face. Yeah, MF DOOM, Czarface. Turns out Czarface is Inspected Deck. This guy Esoteric, and fuck, I can't remember the beatmaker's name right now. I'll look that up in a minute. And those two guys, the beatmaker and Esoteric, 7L or something like that, they are the super group of their own, and then their own hip hop group, and then they teamed up with Inspected Deck to make Czarface, and then that trio teamed up with MF DOOM to make a single back in 2015 on a Czarface album, and then this has now led to MF DOOM and Czarface making this joint project together that we are talking about today. And since our MF DOOM reviews do fucking well, relatively speaking, it is my pleasure to be here talking about MF DOOM again, since you guys seem to like us talking about them.
Wow.
Yeah, so prior to this, do you know anything about these folk?
I know nothing about these folk except for MF DOOM and the albums we've reviewed already, Mad Villainy and Food.
Yes.
I like the creativeness. I like the cartoon feel. I like that comic book superhero vibe that MF DOOM gives us. From the album cover, we'll move into that. I see here you've got like half of MF DOOM's face, half of Czar's face, forming into one character. And I guess Czarface as well is like more into that comic book character feel as well. So I'm expecting some of that vibe as well.
What's super interesting is that it's 3 people personifying that one character, right?
Right.
And like I don't know Inspector Deck that well. I mean, we did touch on some Wu-Tang stuff along the way, so I've heard him, but I don't know him that well. I definitely never heard of Esoteric before, and I know MF Doom as far as those 2 albums are concerned. So I feel like I'm starting to wrap my head around what MF Doom does. So I do look at this cover though, and it looks like it totally just fits into this MF Doom universe we've come to see. I'm almost expecting some of the same kind of stuff. Like I just get the feeling like we're just looking at it. There's not going to be a lot of choruses. It's going to just be kind of bars and bluntness and what we've come to expect almost from Mr. Doom.
But not like very smart bars. Very
we'll get into that I think a little bit. But so I like the cover because it's cool. It's got like half Doom, half Czarface, so their character that they've created. And it's almost like a versus, like it almost looks like these guys are about to fight. Like it makes me think of the Face Off poster with Nicolas Cage and the other one, where it's like split and the faces are kind of like that.
But from what we already know, Doom is a villain,
and Czarface is the hero.
Well, I didn't know that until this album.
That's what I'm saying. So, so knowing that kind of, me too. I found that on the album. Maybe we're wrong. We're just going off of this album. Relax, internet folk. But
well, let us know if he's always been the hero in the previous albums, or if this is a. Well, actually, their last album was called "Every Hero Needs a Villain."
Exactly.
So I'm guessing he is playing that hero role. So it's really cool.
I don't know. I mean, I've learned more. I mean, I unfortunately did not have as much time to look into stuff as I normally would have. Unfortunately, it's Easter this weekend, and that means that I had to rearrange my entire schedule to make sure tomorrow I can go do family duty shit the way I'm supposed to. So when you're seeing this today, well, for you it'll be today when you're watching this, I'll be doing the turkey bullshit over at Easter or whatever we end up fucking eating. It's her mother's. It's not my family, so I gotta behave and not say anything that'll get me in trouble. Whoopsies. Anyway, I love the fucking title.
How do you guys do your Easter rituals? You guys go out to dinner?
Happy Passover to my Jews. All of y'all out there. It's cool to see our holidays syncing up like that. I'm not really that Jewish, but I'm Jewish enough. Czarface Meets Metal Face is a dope ass fucking album title. Actually, I feel like it just kind of sounds like a video game or like a movie or like some piece of media like fights about to break down.
It's like what is it, Freddy versus Jason?
Or
when that fell, it was like both.
But even like to go back to like the old Monster Flakes and shit from back in the day, where it'd be like 2 classic dudes like picking up stuff that would like predate Freddy and Jason. I mean, I don't know. I didn't really see Freddy versus Jason.
I'm just saying, like, the fact that you have two characters from the same genre and they're both iconic, like, in that genre. Like, Freddy and Jason are both horror legends, we could say, and they went at each other.
Godzilla versus King Kong, or Godzilla versus King Kong.
Or that too.
That's what I'm saying. So, yeah, it's kind of like that. That's what I feel. Anyway, the first track on this is Take Your Medicine. Whomever annotated the Genius page and just put instrumental was a lazy fucker. There was far more words like, do you have any medicine, scientist flow.
MF Doom goes, there's no telling.
I got something for your mind, body, and soul. So just to throw it out there, that's how, because I learned last time that you get 40 IQ points just for putting fucking anything. So what I'm learning is in the Genius community, there's sneaky fuckers who are just adding bullshit to get points and bouncing out. Anyway.
What did you feel for it?
This was a pretty cool intro. I mean, I was expecting something along the lines of cinematic intro or movie intro or something. And then this comes in and it really sets the tone, right? Because take your medicine. So what you're about to get on this album is your medicine. And they just kind of are implying, that they're crazy scientist types, that they're fucking cool or whatever. I don't really say a lot, but they basically imply very clearly that what you are about to hear is what your mind, body, and soul needs. And it definitely piqued my curiosity. The music behind it was really stellar. Like, it was really, like, something that really engages you for like your first listen. You're like, whoa, what the fuck is that? And it kind of like sucked me in. Well composed. Some of these like intros under ththese things are kind of weird. Sometimes he does like this more comic-y, but this sounded like fucking serious and proper. And I don't know, something about it just really appealed to me.
Nice.
So I ended up giving this a 4.5 on 5 because it is one of the nicer intros, and especially since it dropped in 2018 and shit, this might be the best intro track I've heard this year.
Nice. I liked how he kept the same theme of starting the intro and giving us this like introduction to like this episode, this cartoon weekend morning type episode feel. We ran off some of the things that were said through the song, so I like how they got this like multiple-esque voices are going, and you kind of feel like they're crazy. They're like you said, these mad scientists. But I gave it a 3. It's just still a skit for me. It's nice. It's a nice tone setter.
Don't take him too seriously, internet. I'm just being a shit. That's what happens though when you meddle with metal.
Twin fire, I break a sweat in the coldest wind. I'm bad news, they gon' know.
This one.
I liked how they morphed from the intro track into this like kind of marchy feel. I feel like you're kind of walking through this town, and like to continue like I was saying with like that episode feel, right? Like when you're watching TV, you kind of just went into the
the title screen,
like the title screen, right? The theme song type thing, and then now we're going into the street, the city, and we're finding out what it looks like and kind of seeing how people move around and stuff. I really am enjoying that. We start off with Inspect the Deck, saluting everybody, keeping that like that army feel, kind of matching up with the tone of the melody and the instrumental. And right off, he's just super hard. He's just like, yo Barmageddon, hard head descendants, jar head in the trenches, scar heads relentless. You came prefer locksmith and fools SARS. What's your occupation? I think I butchered that, but he came in super hard, and it was really great with the energy. And I like how he was hitting it with every drum hit. Every time where there was that kick, he was just hitting every syllable, every note. It was really great. He has another line: boom bap ambassador, track master, hot as Africa sand, moving bodies like human trafficker. I was just like, I like the word boom bap. I like saying that. I like that he's also like bringing up the fact that he was also part of that era when it was starting, and that he contributed to that. So that was great. And then we hit the chorus, and they were just stating, if I remember correctly, they're just saying Czar and Doom for just repeatedly just introducing like who the characters are. Verse 2, we got MF Doom. He comes in with this the super villain, a maniacal tyrant. Hear footsteps, adapt to your environment. I like that line because every time he says super, I always hear off his track Food that super. That little voice. So, and I just really enjoy that. The flow is very slow on it, and I like that. It's like got this like somewhat spoken word, but more a little bit of a quicker pace. But it's not like full on rap though. So it's just more slowed down. And then I like when Esoteric was like, tape him up, lay him down, increase the murder rate. No, wrong. MF Doom said, tape him up, lay him down, increase the murder rate. No, not that dude. I heard he's straight. And I like that line because as the villain that MF Doom is, I could kind of get that feeling like he's giving out orders to his henchmen, and then he's like, no, wait, not that guy. Hold on, take him back. Like, he's on our side. Don't worry about it. So I got that little kind of chuckle feeling there. And then in verse 3, you got Esoteric, and I like a line that he said, I stay around bread like twisty ties, look up in the sky, Czarface, stick the superhero landing, extra fly, my mind scattered, but the bars rule, so many voices in my head, that's every ride's a carpool. I just thought that was really cool, the way that you think about carpooling with random people, and then he's got different voices in his heads, and he's always with people. It was just really great. I got really into the beat. It was very captivating. Just sounds like they're kind of like breaking down what they're gonna do for their mission for that episode in a way, like how they're kind of setting up where everybody is in the moment. So I gave it a 4 on 5.
Yeah, I thought it was a pretty strong start. The beat just comes in and it's just punching. Like you just start head banging. It's just so it's almost bass driven. It's really, but it's also it's almost like it's not over the top. It more or less kind of stays the same, as giving the rappers their opportunity to come through and drop what they have to say. Inspected Deck does come in hard, and he comes in and he's just saying a bunch of stuff. Now, I gotta say that Inspected Deck sounds a little goofy next to MF Doom and Esoteric. And what I mean is you got like Inspected Deck saying stuff like the spell's so strong and catch hate from wizards and warlocks, you know, like Boom Bap Ambassador, all that stuff. What I'm stomping to harder than an inmate on a conjugal. And I started like thinking about that a little bit because that's what I do, I think. And so he kind of comes in and he makes like a really weak bar. The spell's so strong, I catch hate from wizards and warlocks. Like, I mean, it's okay. You're relating the fact that spells are there to wizards and warlocks. I'm not trying to hate. It sounds cool when he says it, but it's corny is I guess where I'm going. Like when I'm stomping to harder than an inmate on a conjugal, I mean, I suppose an inmate on a conjugal is going to fuck a little bit hard because it's his only opportunity, but again, there's many harder things out there. Or don't take it personal. You know the biz, and you know thought so much force. I'm like Yoda's twin. I'm like, okay, he's not even the best Jedi. Like, you see what I'm saying? Like, it's not that they're bad lines. It's they're just kind of corny.
Yoda's not the best Jedi.
I don't think Yoda's the best Jedi. I mean, he's got a lot of force points or whatever. But then, like, cause then you come in with Doom, the super villain and a maniacal tyrant. Hear footsteps, adapt to your environment. So here he's like coming in, like I'm fucking crazy, and like you know what? I'm OG. I can like catch your environment, blend in like a chameleon. You're not gonna see me company. All I just gotta do is hear what's around me to know what the fuck's happening. And then he follows it up, jungle. You know, because the environment's tough. All you suckers with the rap jargon, the type of rap you find on a rack at a bargain, type of crap, probably get him smacked off the margin. I mean, he starts just like really just taking shots at watered down, like bad rap, you know, like where it really just correlates that he is the real deal, this real villain, and everything else is watered down, has been nonsense. And I just thought like there was this truth, and it wasn't about like this allegory. It wasn't like over the top corniness. It was just fucking savagery I felt from Doom. Or TMZ and fake beef is the new pork, filthy regurgitate. I was like, damn, he just like attacked the entire culture of what a lot of people are doing to come up, you know, like, and he I guess he's Muslim, so saying the pork is filthy and etc. is like a real like extra, you know, shot at the situation.
Right.
Or Esoteric impressed the shit out of me. I didn't quote as much from him, but I was like, I didn't know who he was, so I was a little bit unsure of what to expect. But man, on most of these songs, Esoteric blew me out the fucking water. I really enjoyed listening to him. Like, I'm a fan. I'm gonna have to go listen to his old shit after.
Oh.
But one of my favorite fucking lines was, I miss that old shit. Rappers used to be stupid deaf. Now they just stupid and deaf. And I was just like, that's fucking funny. And I know it's not like the most profound line, but I really like it when anybody takes a line where they say something like stupid deaf and then use the exact same words in the next rhyme, but slightly different to change the entire meaning to like prove a point. That's pretty awesome. And so there's a lot of like references on this album. And when I got the references, they made me fucking laugh. So I really enjoyed the Conor McGregor fucking line where he like fucking says it wrong. That was hilarious when I got it. When I didn't get the reference, I didn't try that hard. But this was a great beat. Like when they all finish rapping, the way the beat just kind of plays for a while, you almost need that little palate cleanser because there's just all the intensity that happened. I don't know. This was dope. I get this a 4.75. It's really awesome. And it's kind of just 3 intense verses, and you'll notice as the review goes on, I have less and less to say because a lot of the songs are intense verses. Anyway, I think that's enough.
Of Madness.
Yeah, that's the next one.
They walk off colder than the winter draft. Ags, Mulder, and Scully. Deck style.
All right, this one's a little creepier. It's got a little bit of an eerier sound.
But I feel like we're still staying with that consistent eerie sound. Even the last track was a little bit like.
Well, the last track, if you were to like think about your episode, they're all a little bit piped up, like they're planning, they're getting ready,
right,
or like they're meeting each other, right? It's like the scene when the army guys get introduced to each other, and now they're being kind of from the beat alone. I now picture the bad guy getting introduced into the situation, and even if lyrically it doesn't match,
I see that.
But like now it's like the bad dude's coming in, and because we have to have the counterbalance. So even if it has nothing to do with the rhymes, from my imaginary movie, that's what happened next.
Nice. This song itself is more of a spoken word that we get from Inspector Deck in the beginning and at the end of the first verse. And I like how they did that. It didn't feel rushed. It didn't feel, there was that intensity, but it didn't feel like they had to force it. It was just more about what they were saying. The piano keys are very on point on this song. You can really hear them. I enjoy piano sounds myself. And then let's just move into the verses. So Inspector Deck, I like when he goes, nah, the smoke's not loud, it's obnoxious. I spit cyber hot shit to fry your fiber optics. Watch this magic trick. Quickly cut this bitch in half and walk off colder than a winter draft. I was like, oh, the way he said that. Just I liked how he used obnoxious and cyber hot shit.
I really like the it's obnoxious. I spit cyber hot shit and fiber. That part was really good. The part right after, a little bit more on the corny side.
Well, I put it in there not to just to continue on that flow, like just to have it there.
But just to like add to that, the part right before that is got a call from my Spanish friend. Ooh, rug burn city. Are you fucking kidding me? And now my knees need bandaging. Like, wait, what? You were on your knees? I'm so confused.
Well, I mean, like, you know, if the girl's standing.
Okay. I mean, look.
It's a possibility.
I'm not trying to shit on this track. Like, I know it might sound like it. I actually got giggles out of this. Look, I had enjoyment from Inspector Deck is rapping absolutely proper, but he kind of sounds like dad jokes as opposed to hard shit. And so I'm really enjoying it. But next to the other two, it's a little bit more like dad jokes.
Well, speaking of the other two, on verse 2, we got MF Doom. And I like when he goes, wake up in a million years, still here with these villain peers, hitting gears for another pill and beers. Me and Horito crack a joke and still in tears. Ha ha ha, guess God is a comedian while the poor get devoured in the jaws of greedy men whose daughters out dancing to techno and BDM. And I prior to that part, he was like, if I'm not mistaken, he was talking about like killing somebody and doing some like sinful acts and then passing out or like kind of hiding for a bit and then coming up in a million years to be with the same type of villainous people he's with. But I really like that line because I feel like he got a little bit political on it.
Well, he kind of there. I think the key point is he's painting out the way of all this corruption, and then just that he is kind of going after the daughters of these same evil people, etc. That's at least what I took from it. Keep in mind, I haven't had a chance to fully delve in. I'm doing my best in terms of, let's call it a first impression of this album.
Right. I mean, you have to really sit there and listen to it over and over. I had to play back some of these songs like 3-4 times to really like get that feeling and understand. Because at first time you hear it, like these bars are so well placed, and the way that they use the way they present the words and how they spit them, it's like you're just on this.
I just kept having to look shit up, and then I realized I didn't have time to look up everything because so many of these references, especially from Esoteric, are so culturally like relevant, and they're good bars, but I don't always understand them. Go on.
From Esoteric, I just quoted 2 bars, 2 lines. The beginning, okay, all right, yo,
so good.
You brought a knife to a gunfight. Yeah, well, I would do that and stab the shooter in broad sunlight. And I'm just like, yep, that is keeping that crazy-esque feel, that like psychopathic feel. But as well, if we are going to think about Esoteric being part of Czarface and being that superhero, I mean, superhero could also do that type of act as well. So that's also cool. And at the end of it, when he's like, I'm the one true king of this 1-2 thing, the way I kicked bars and darts, you'd think I'd mix martial art with mixed martial arts. And I just was like, oh, all right.
No, it is, because even if you think about the other bar that you quoted, right, it makes me think of like an early Slim Shady.
Exactly.
So he really is kind of tapping into that, and I really appreciated it.
I gave it a 4 on 5. What about you?
I liked it more than that. I think it's got this very solid construction to it. It follows through. Like, basically, you get the feeling right now, if you like bars, this is an album for you. If you do not like bars and you like melodies and compositions and stuff, it's not the album for you. I'm going to tell you that now. So you probably already know that. You're here because you like Doom. Or Deck, or one of the other guys.
Well, Czarface.
So we know I feel Inspected Deck's fun but corny. Doom comes in proper, though. He's like, villain gone, haywire, hey liar, don't cry, wolf, say fire, pray higher, old guy'll stay by ya, the outcome costs more than what you paid prior. And then, so you're like, he's already coming in with little short lines, heavy rhyming with each other, but he's still actually kind of saying some shit, you know? Like, he's like coming at people who are maybe a little bit on the false side of the honesty, playing up on the liar, liar, pants on fire, wolf bullshit that he's putting into these little cultural stuff. So it's like pulling in from things you know, which really makes it an interesting series of lines. Old gas de bayou, the outcome costs more than what you paid prior. So the disaster or the impact of something is significantly worse than whatever this original situation was. But then I love how he goes turbulence. He doesn't say Lance, he says Lance. From circumstance, quite perceptive, do his dance. Moment he turned and glanced. It's worth 1,000 words. Cowards die 1,000 deaths. And I was like,
Didn't we? Yeah.
I just, because we don't know this, because the review that we'll have coming up for Classic Quest is on Tupac.
Yesterday,
We actually just learned about that a coward dies 1,000 deaths quote.
and a soldier only dies once.
Yeah, so I really looked at that and I was like, hey, I actually caught the reference. I knew
Guys, go check it out on our Tupac review.
It's
That's
not out yet.
coming out when
In
it
the
comes
future.
out. If
So
we're gonna bring
keep
it up,
your eye out for that. Chris doesn't know how to promo shit.
Sorry, I'm trying.
It's pretty good, but then it sounds fresh, so pay up with a pound of flesh. And that plays into another Shakespeare, actually, because Bonnie was saying what rappers, on that video that's coming, what rappers mention Shakespeare. And
Foreshadowing today.
And I don't remember, I think it was Merchant in Venice, the person actually gets asked to pay up in flesh and shit. So I realized that to fully appreciate Doom, I would have to actually maybe do a lot more Googling to actually catch these references. So that's cool, though. So right away, you know, there's replay value. And then Esoteric Man, he does the whole gunfight thing, etc. But I really like when he's like, ta-da-da-da, I'm back in rehab, no secrecy. I'm seeking treatment for beating MCs repeatedly. It really is such a Slim Shady-esque feel to it. But I totally don't feel like he sounds like Eminem. He just kind of says shit that Eminem might have said, you know? Altogether, between the awesome kind of creepy beat and everything, I gave it a 4.5 on 5. I already see myself really excited for this album. I'm like, we're barely in. So next up is Close Talker.
10 feet, nigga. Sometimes hearing in this helmet's hard. It's made me.
We got a skit.
So
This is the story all about how Doom and Czarface met right now. And that's basically the skit, right?
that's basically it. Czar is a close talker because it's hard for him to hear people in the mask, so he has to get up in your face, and instantly you get Doom, who's like, "Hey, back away 10 feet, go away, back up.
You're up in my fucking face."
You know, like personal space, my bubble.
He's so fun. I'm Czarface. I know a guy who can change your life. Who? Me. 10 feet, man.
Like you can just picture like, yo, me, like in his face. They meet. Czarface proposes to do a team up, and this is where you get like, okay, they're gonna start teaming. But this is where I get
like
a little
Spidey and the Torch, but like Hawk and Animal, and like 7L, the producer. I was supposed to tell you the name of after earlier because I forgot, but that's the guy who's part of the group Czarface.
But it takes a twist though for me because Spidey and the Torch are good guys. And if you think of this, if they're teaming up, you'd be like, oh, it would be Czar and his sidekick. But now it's Czar and Doom, who is the villain.
And then he goes, well, my position is hero, and stop if you've heard this one, but every hero needs a villain. And then Doom's just laughing for a while.
And it's this like not even like energetic laugh. He's just
Kind of like something like flat, like like a lame villain. Anyway, 4.5 on 5. This shit actually is funny.
3.5 on 5.
I thought it was really like, because I could picture the scene in the movie. Like you've already got our introductions. They've met. The villains popped up a bit. The heroes realized that, or whatever. I mean, obviously our movie plot is not the same as Doom's, but let's say we have our characters. They've been introduced, and now you see these two guys. Like I picture them like the really talented cop and the really bullshit cop, and they've been put together for a series of circumstances.
Oh my god, it's
and
bad cop.
Doom is like the really good cop, and Czarface is kind of the goofy cop, is how I'm picturing it. And that's how this scene kind of plays out a little bit. Is now they're kind of meeting, and goofy cop's like, "I need you on the squad," because whatever, and Doom's just like, "Man,
I think
I want to walk away, but there'd be no movie without me, so here I am. I'm in." I don't know. I fucking dug this, though, because it entertained me. Outside the album, no purpose in my life. Inside the album, that was funny. That was enjoyable. It was almost like Forever People.
Like Mike Pence's. I amplify the 5 senses, so ahead of my time.
I wanted to like this one as much, but that bass line, at first I liked it, and then it got a little bit annoying. How'd you feel, Chris?
I'm not so feeling negative on the beat itself. The beat was okay. It wasn't the greatest thing, but it wasn't like super bad. Me, it's the verses. The verses weren't that fire on this one to me. First one we got esoteric, and it's still like you still get this. First off, just for the beat, it's still this consistent type of eerie feel, this comic book feel. We still have that. That's still great, and I like that. I like how they're sticking to the theme of the album. They're not really diverting far away. I enjoy that, so that's good. And we get into the verse and esoteric. A line that he says is, "My entrance fly, bends, knives, wrenches, hotlines, and suicide preventions. I fight in trenches, you hide behind fences and ride benches." And
my mind's bright, yours is dense like Mike Pence's.
Yeah, I was going to say he took shot at Michael Pence, which...
Mike Pence.
Yeah,
fucking guy.
I feel like that might date this song a little bit. Just like in years, once we move on from this and we get past all this Trump bullshit and Mike Pence bullshit... It won't make like any sense anymore unless you really know it.
And if you guys want to question that, go listen to Square Dance and tell me that you give a fuck about Eminem rapping about Bush.
Or Mosh. Or Mosh.
Yeah, but Square Dance is even more dated. Because like he's still beefing with cannabis and things like that. Like who the fuck cares about cannabis? Okay, I know cannabis is cool. Who the fuck cares about Eminem's beef with cannabis in 2018? Is what I was trying to convey, internet, before you jumped down my throat.
But that was really it.
Also, the lines right before were "haunted mind. Now I'm on another plateau," where it's almost like his mind's fucked up and he's imagining his craziness of everything he just said, and then because of that, his mind's bright, and then he takes shots at the world or whoever, with that Mike Pence line. And if you don't know, Mike Pence is a particularly evil motherfucker. So say what you will about Trump being in power, but if you really check into it, it's better than Mike Pence winning. That's all I want to say about that.
Fair enough. I like in verse 2, Doom, a line from Doom was, "Don't lose your cool or show your cards too early, or it could be a close call like New York to New Jersey. I always had a soft spot for chicks who talk dirty, party on your block, going 7:30. Now, I like this. Why? I lived in New Jersey, so I was like, oh, that was funny. 2, I also like how he comes in with these type of verses and he's just very nonchalant, not really caring, kind of having this like type of conversation. And also he's giving you some knowledge, like just kind of be careful what you do. Make sure you move in silence in a way. Don't be showing people your moves. You want to make sure that, you got it all under control. And then he changes up and he's like, oh, wait, there's a party happening. All right, I'll be there at 7:30. I'm going to get it. I'm going to be the villain. We're going to do what we got to do. And then on verse 3, we have Inspect the Deck, and it was great. Just nothing noteworthy on my end.
Yeah, he's just, like, especially after hearing those other two, he just sounds less... It's better when he's at the start of the song, right?
Yes. It was good. The verse is good. He's still Inspect the Deck. He's still doing his thing. Just nothing noteworthy.
Gonna call me a hater.
Honestly, though, the song got a 3.5 on 5. It wasn't the...
Okay.
best thing yet.
I dug Esoteric a lot. Like right away, Esoteric is slowly becoming like my favorite person on this album.
Oh, look at that.
I'm not like entirely so. I think it's like it's a tie between Doom and Esoteric song by song. Let's say when Esoteric's not so full of references that will become dated, I appreciate him more because I find him hard. I find him fucking insane. Really fun to listen to. Like really good, like a balance to a guy like Doom. You more or less quoted what I wanted to quote from Esoteric, but his flow is just, it's worth listening to, and his voice sounds really good next to the other two. Like, they all sound different enough that it's super easy to, like, pick each guy out of the song without having to try very hard, and stylistically different enough from the other two, because he's more on the trickier, the more intensity, and then Doom comes in with that lazy, kind of tight, like laid back flow, right? Like you just smoked a pound of kush and he can barely fucking like keep his brain together.
Yo, straight
flow.
couch lock.
But I just love it. His style, like best bet, mind your neck, go and find the check, time for wreck, move over a smidgen to avoid collision. You know, because there's a train that's coming in. He was talking about a train for a minute. Villain, one truth, won't argue no religion. And now he's trying to say, like, yo, I'm about, like, one thing, you know? I'm not really trying to push your side, my agenda or whatever. Or promote no division. Okay. Like, are you saying that Villain is really the guy who's about the main proper things? Look at that, motherfuckers. Big business like prison, never fall victim to indecision or no bogus inhibition, which is an interesting serious alliance because big business is kind of like a prison. I have a lot of strong feelings about how corporate America plays out in real life in terms of creating mental prisons for people that honestly, go look at how much it costs to live in Silicon Valley versus what these guys make, and they're probably broker than people who make no money. It's fucking crazy. And then the idea that he's just focused, he stays, he knows what he's got to do. Inhibitions that are bogus don't even count to him. Like these arbitrary social constructs that, it's funny because I was listening to Oasis earlier today, and the same kind of general dismissal of societal norms that the Gallagher boys put on is very similar to what I'm seeing from MF Doom here. Bet nobody ever said that before. And then I love how he ends the line with reading Corinthians in a whip a pimp be in. Like, he's reading the Bible being a pimp. Contradictions and shit. Inspector Deck's alright, but, like, as you hear all that harsh shit, you get stuff like, somebody tell the label exec, don't forget there's penalties and fees when you're late with the check. So tell the guy at the record label you're going to jump him or something because you're connected to the hood. Like, I don't know. Am I crazy? This just isn't as hard. Matter of fact, take the payment in cash. Okay, I stay woke like 7 cups of coffee straight out the bag. That's some hard shit. Like, yeah, technically 7 cups of coffee is some hard shit, but I've drank a lot of coffee. It makes your heart race. You get super fucking anxious, and it's not fun. Like, it's not hard. It's actually just bad for you. I don't know. I gave it a 4 on 5. The beat was a little bit annoying and Inspected Deck's a little bit corny, but the rest of the track is pretty fucking solid. Let's talk about some breakfast cereal with Captain Crunch. Do you like Captain Crunch, by the way? Like, before we even get into this, do you guys eat Captain Crunch? Whoever's watching this video, is it one of the delicious side of breakfast cereals, or are you interested in something more like Life or Cocoa Puffs? What is the breakfast cereal of choice for you? Anyway, Chris, talk about the song, please. Don't let me keep going. It's not.
As per the song, we got more bars as I see here. And we've got MF Doom starting off, kind of giving you this feel like, look, I'm going to have my Captain Crunch whenever the fuck I want. I'm going to eat my cereal, and I don't really care how you feel about it.
Yeah, don't get your panties in a bunch, motherfucker.
Basically. I like when he goes, when MF Doom goes, don't deal with the devil on a deep level. They see metal and sound off like a tea kettle, blow to spot up lovely with no reference to skin color. God don't like ugly. And I don't quite know what that God line means, but I think if you're being racist, you're ugly, so God doesn't like you.
Yeah, God transcends your actual skin color and sees your soul. What? MF Doom speaking real shit. The villain turns out to be good. Anyway, go on.
Well, anyway. Verse 2, we've got esoteric, and there's a line that he goes, my confusion organized, I'm the Lord of Light, Yondu with an arrows like Eso with cordless mic. And I recently just watched Guardians of the Galaxy, so the Yondu line was pretty dope.
I see, like, I didn't know what that meant, and I didn't have time to Google that one over my head.
Little thing, Yondu is a blue guy with a red little thing on his head,
at some
and
point.
he controls an arrow, and he's awesome.
Okay, go on.
But he also proceeds to follow up with, like, he also mentions, like, Groot and Baby Groot and Stan Lee and, like, further on in the verse. And there's just a lot of...
He's got some really good references. Well, check it. Michael Crichton put the rap in Velociraptor. Do you know who Michael Crichton is?
Nope.
Guess what book Michael Crichton wrote that might have velociraptors in it?
Jurassic Park.
Jurassic Park. Michael Crichton wrote Jurassic Park. It's a fucking great book. It's even better than the movie. And so, or I hate you like a trapdoor. When it rains, it pours. I love that because of how he flowed that whole part too. But the fact that he made a Michael Crichton fucking reference in the middle of Guardians of the Galaxy, and you with a mic is like a eunuch with a hooker. You don't have anything to do anything with it. Excellent fucking line. See, that's some savagery. That is savagery. Anyway, go on, Chris.
Nice. And then on the third verse, we got Inspect the Deck. And I like when he went, they can't handle the pressure trying to handle Inspector because I eat him up faster than Hannibal Lecter. I was like, oh, that was cool. And then another line, just pre-order the slaughter. When you give it a listen, there'll be so many bars will give you a vision of prisons. And I was like, all right, little wordplay with bars and prisons. That was cool. But I just like how he gave that emphasis and that energy on that line. And then at the end of the song, there's like a little bit of like a movie commercial.
Yeah, for this movie we've been describing this whole time, rated 17 plus for everybody.
So that was dope. I gave it a 4 on 5.
So yeah, I like when Doom's really like, wise man once said not to showboat and treat the yacht the same way as a rowboat. I mean, say what you will, but a lot of these guys' lines are really fucking common sense brilliance. Like, think about what he's saying there. Don't floss what you have. Don't like go to your way to be cocky. Like, if I'm not mistaken, Homer Simpson failed at a football career because he couldn't help but be showboaty. Even Homer failed because of that. And then I like the way he just says, like, take your expensive and fancy yacht and give it the same love and respect you would give that little rowboat over there. Because that little rowboat's going to have its purpose in life and still be kind of cool. And then the snakes will hang themselves with their own rope and watch a jewel transform to a known quote. And I'm just like, fuck off, eh? Like, that's some harsh shit right there, because it's like the way you can transition almost line by line between ideas so seamlessly while maintaining such a tight rhyme scheme and flow makes
like
Doom extremely impressive.
That freestyle mindset is dope. Like how he it doesn't feel
but that's still like tight and composed. Like everything's so well chosen.
Right, it's well chosen and tight and composed, but it's like it's kind of like if he were to freestyle, he kind of just thinks of ideas and just goes with it. Maybe. I just feel like every line is potent. I also liked because he like Shorty passed out. He could have put the whammy in the punch. Had he a hunch, he could have got set up like one Cosby. Like, he really just went there and made that a thing. Kind of saying that if he took advantage of that person and he'd actually gone through with it, the Cosby shit would have played out. We already discussed how I felt about Esoteric real quick. And then Inspected Deck's all right. Choose your battles more wisely. I wouldn't suggest you provoke. I stunt your growth like cigarette smoke. I mean, it's true. That is something cigarette smoke does. It's just not the hardest line compared to what the other guys are saying. Keeps going. I'm talking effortless flow. I tell the truth, the whole truth, so let the record show. I went from corner to corner, took it block to block, came from under the rock bottom to top. So yeah, he's right, and everything he's saying is valid, and everything feels like it should be like intimidating me, but it's just kind of not as good as the other two. And I guess that's a running theme. Sorry I keep saying it. I do love the little commercial at the end. I honestly thought the song had changed, but again, it's this little palate cleanser, and it really sounds like a movie commercial build up, but like an old timey one, like one I can almost remember when I'm really young how they used to do it, and I appreciated that. 4.5 on 5. I'm really impressed with this album, even if I sound like I don't like Inspector Deck. What they're trying to say to me is, don't spoil it, Holden.
My hustle and flow, I'm sure to get paid in full. That's the rhyme.
All right. What'd you think about Don't Spoil It?
I liked what he did with it. I liked what Inspector Deck did with it. I quoted here, "My hustle and flow, I'm sure to get paid in full. That's the rhyme and reason. So pardon me, who's the man with the juice that crashed the house
That's
party?"
the whole song.
It's just like hustle and flow,
I mean,
a movie.
like more examples.
Get paid in full, movie. Rhyme and reason, movie.
Paid in Full's an album too, no?
Juice, well, yeah, Paid in Full is an album too. Juice is a movie.
It's just a bunch of older shit from the era he comes from and
Well,
he's paying homage to.
What I noticed though is every reference he makes is something black culture wise, and then and every actor in the reference or the song is black, and then the one reference Most Wanted is referencing the Malibu Most Wanted movie, which is a white actor.
Yeah,
that's just something I noticed.
Movie. Traffic. I don't know if you remember that freestyle. What I thought was brilliant about this is you have MFDOOM almost being like, "Don't spoil that shit." So he doesn't. He lists like all this shit for you to go look up, but he spoils nothing about the plots of any of these movies. So he doesn't spoil it in the conventional sense of spoiling a plot of a movie. And I thought that was kind of cute. But man, this is my least favorite song so far. I'm giving it a 4.25 because it's well done. And the idea behind it's really cool. And the beat's all right. But I'm not really a huge fan of songs that are just cultural references, as you'll find out in the Tupac review. And this is just like, it's just cheeky. It's a good kind of cheeky, a tongue-in-cheek, whatever. I gave it a 4.25. What'd you give it?
Gave it a 3.
Phantoms is next. Those are ghosts.
Nigga told me I should have invested in Bitcoin, and then he lit joints and offered me a.
Yo, this was like a fire fucking song. We got Open Ego Mike here, who's joining in, giving us extra
Which was
verse.
great, by the way.
And then Kendra Morris, who I'm not really certain who that is, doing some stuff on the hook and whatnot. And it really added value to get some extra blood up on this track, is all I'm trying to say. How did you feel about it?
Well, take it. No, you started. Take it.
Doom starts the track, and he comes in being Doom. And I feel like that's a fair statement to say for the rest of the album. Doom more or less does the Doom thing on every song. But I like where he's like traveled in a trio, and we find out in a little bit this is the angel and the demon on his fucking shoulders.
Yep.
Or maybe just abandoned, it's random, found one, take a grandson for ransom, got him with his hands all in a cookie jar, etc., etc. I like how he drops Soul of Mischief till infinity, because I love 93 till infinity. It's a great fucking song, and I even listened to the album a couple of times. I'm working on my classic hip-hop, folks. But anyway, he's got a Bonafic, and the Phantom will remain forever on your shit list, so this like entity is going to be there forever. And then the one Phantom is going to be on your shit list, all the bad advice, the negative. The other one give good advice, well dressed, real nice, knows your worth, sets the price, keep you at the hood life. So you kind of get this like little debate going on. And the fact that you have this guy like Doom who's just kind of almost showing his inner conflict and the different struggle, not maybe not his, but like just inner conflict and the struggles that go on in the battle for stuff. It's just cool. Like it's just really unexpected. Open Mike Eagle sounds wonderful. I know I've seen him on a couple of lists of guys who dropped incredible albums last year that we slept on, so I was kind of excited to have a chance to hear what he sounded like. I like when he's like, this whole story, like I fought a ghost in my apartment, he had too many hit points. Right away, I'm like, that's amazing, because I love RPGs, and I know I've come across ghosts with too many hit points before, and they fuck me up, especially if I didn't have a magic spell. He bested me, very Ready Player One, and told me I should have invested in Bitcoin, which is funny considering if you catch what's going on in Bitcoin now, that's what a bunch of people were saying. And then look what happened. And then he lit joints and offered me a Fanacan, and he drove a Phantom, and then he started singing Phantogram. All of those are real things. And the way he was able to find actual pronouns to support his rhyme scheme like that is dope as fuck. But what really gets you is my man was the best ghost. He gifted me a new rap book that'll probably be a Death Note. Yeah, you mad? I've seen you steal so many lines from me this review, motherfucker. That's fun. I don't even watch Death Note, but I know what that means because I know enough about Death Note to know that's a dope fucking bar. Yeah. And right now I'd be writing Chris Chrome in my motherfucking book for that pouty-ass face that I'm dealing with here. It was really good. Like I'm like blowing away. I've never heard this guy before, and he's standing flawlessly. He's definitely beating Inspector Deck on this album.
Yeah.
Speaking of, he smokes blunts with danger, trouble at my doorstop, stared death in the face, left him with a sore neck. Like, wait, what?
The devil himself can't resist the raw dialect. There's my.
Clashed with the Titans, robbed stores with Lucifer. My only reason I really like this is when he's like seduced a temptress, threesome with Medusa. Then, okay, the phantoms, they surround me like Dolby sound. Like, and this is the only really clever one to me. Like, they seen alive in a ghost town because it's Dolby sound making it all feel alive and interactive.
Yeah.
Honestly, none of that stands up as good as the rest of it. I'm so sorry if people really dig this guy.
Dolby.
No, the Dolby sound line, that was good.
Yeah.
But you're listening to like the guy who's smoking blunts with the dead ghost, who it turns out wasn't even dead after all, and he used this journalistic literary trope in his rhyme and taught me this whole new thing. And Inspector Deck made it Death's neck sore.
He's talking like Open Mike Eagle talking about himself.
Still great.
Like it's fantastic.
Esoteric. Fuck a phantom. I'm fed up with phony fantasies. Fake fugazi. Fantasies fam. We fuck with family. Foes feeling free to forge. Wit, fetty, and fame. They fabricated fascinating like a Frank Frazetta frame. I don't remember what that was,
dope.
But I had looked up Frank Frazetta and I forgot. Fools falsify facts. Friends figure it's fine. They fail to fix the fraudulent and formulate a Frankenstein for real. Your focus fuzzy like footage of the flesh.
Woo!
I love good alliteration like that. So when you think about how Inspector Deck made the motherfucker's neck sore, surrounded by the crazy ghost story, it's just... Perspective speaking here, I gotta say that my favorite verse has to go to fucking Esoteric because that alliteration is good. Followed by Doom and Open Mike Eagle at an equal tie.
Listen.
Inspector Deck down on the bottom
Esoteric.
for me,
Okay, I have nothing to quote. He quoted everything.
This track's a fucking 5 on 5. This is the first one that lit me the fuck up. I could see even Inspector Deck's good enough for me to come back to. I'll bump this over. I know I was talking about, but like I said, it was corny next to the other guys. That is not the same thing as this guy spitting bad. He's spitting proper on this track. Anyway.
Yeah. I have like nothing left to say. You quoted everything that I wrote down basically. But Inspector Deck is the only thing that I have to criticize. For me, he didn't stand up to the other 3 rappers. Open Mike Eagle, he's got an album out. I've kind of seen a little bit of interviews on of him with academics and stuff like that, but I've never really listened to his music. And to hear him this for one time, to like see how he did that journalistic perspective, how he kind of gave us this answer before really giving us what happened and all this stuff. At one point, I might be stretching. When he went with the Death Note line, my man was kind of the best ghost. He gifted me a new rap book that's probably a Death Note. I was like, are you saying you have a ghostwriter? That somebody else is writing these bars that are killing other MCs and you're presenting them and you're
I think you're stretching.
I'm probably stretching. But that was something that I was like, if he is openly saying that, that's pretty cool, I guess.
I don't know why anybody would make that cool. You just took away from the coolness of the Death Note.
Oh, I'm sorry. Hate on me. But other than that, I gave it a 4.5 on 5. I just...
You know what, Chris?
Not a 5.
You know what, Chris? Bombs throwing.
I be laughing at the beef as though I'm body shaming exes. Only time you...
I just gotta say, I remember when Kane came out and the 4 fires would shoot up at each of the rings in the wrestling match in the WWE. And he would wear a mask and he had hair and it would be really cool. And then Kane got kind of flabby and bald and less intimidating, but still, Inspector Deck. I warm it up like Kane in his prime. I got that reference. Anyway, I just wanted to start with that. What did you think of this song?
I thought it was cool. Verse, bars on bars. Something Inspector Deck said. Nowadays, they respect money more than power. Money, power, respect. We all want some. I ain't waiting. I needed it. One lump sum.
Yeah.
Made men trade hands with young guns. They stopped manufacturing the cloth that I'm cut from.
Yeah, that was a good line.
And I really enjoyed that line. I like how he's...
Let me be clear. He actually sounds fucking hard when he says that to me. Like, this song, He did it.
Well,
he came through.
Just to also like to back him up. I mean, he is part of Wu-Tang. He did create that. He has that credibility behind him to be able to say he's cut from that different cloth.
And I'm agreeing, but that actually sounded like he was cut
definitely.
from that cloth.
Esoteric for me, there was nothing really noteworthy. It was really hard. It was great, done well. Just nothing really stuck out. And then on verse 3, I like when Doom went, due to jet lag, good afternoon, or is that night? Militant speak proper. Some airhead said he act white. Cash flight. Bread good, so he tends to pack light. Got jokes, but usually don't engage in no snap fight. And I like that. I like that because snap fight, he doesn't engage on Snapchat. I know that's not what he meant. That's what I'm taking from it.
Snap fight apparently is like something that belittles into a bunch of aimless jokes, like yo mama this, yo mama that.
Yeah, like.
So it's not like it actually isn't about Snapchat.
I know it's not about Snapchat.
And if I'm not mistaken, the way that bar played out is the guy's insistence on making it a petty name-calling type of battle instead of being about skills led Doom to feeling a little bit disappointed, like it's a complete waste of time after, because anyway.
Definitely. And that was really the bars that really stood out to me, though. Although the beat itself was kind of a little bit wishy-washy for me. I didn't really get enthralled into it. Yeah, I left it with a 3.9 on 5.
I don't know. I liked it a little more. I liked the music video. I liked the little fact that they filmed it all with almost paper animations and toys using stop animations, and it was so ridiculous to watch this play out. Check out this music video, especially if you like incense-smelling intoxicants. Go for that shit. You're going to really enjoy it, is what I'm trying to say. MF Doom would approve, I think. I really like when Inspector Deck's like, you don't want to put the work in. You just want a taste of the shrine, real talk, so it's hard to trust a minute for the long ride, like I drive a charter bus, scars and blood, from the deadly bars I bust. In the Czar we trust, the army buy the bombs off us. And when I picture him like a general, yeah, I see it. I see it now when he comes in with the more really like top level boss shit. I think Inspector Deck really hits that. He really I feel like he's a good manager who can tell that guy's lazy and that guy's savage. And that's just how I'm picturing him on this album so far. Eso, man, coming in esoteric. I just wrote Eso in my notes. Esoteric with generally speaking, each rhyme is 5-star. That is an amazing line because he's like generally speaking, each rhyme is 5-star, like a general. Split personality, I ride with a sidecar. I can't think of a rhyme. It must be replaced. Like, it's on the tip of my tongue, like Stan Smith's face. Hold on. I really like, for the record, American Dad. Hold on. Something about a fly sound and how you got no bars like a dry town. I like that. Like, he's like building up, like he's trying to come up with something so profound. He can't even put his finger on it. And then he drops a pretty clever bar about, like, because, when there's no bars in your town, it's dry. And prohibition bars. He dropped a prohibition bar in the middle of that. I like when Doom's like win, lose, or draw, plus beat you at Atari. Because he win, lose, or draw is a little basic game, but he also can fuck you up in Atari, which is highly skill-based. Dropped they ass deep in some far-off safari, and probably even got the answer to who the hell are we? Metal Face Squadron, tell the real one shalom in a calm face, bomb thrown. And that kind of sounds a little bit like the political climate in like Palestine and a bit of the terrorism shit that happened there, adding a little bit of fierceness to his lines. Really smooth to me. The outro, is possibly my favorite part of the song, because after you get all these crazy beats and shit, you just get 7L shining as he's putting in like this almost inflated version of the beat, and it's something really pretty for a solid minute to just listen to and sink your brain into, to kind of wash away some of the intensity on this album. I love the feel of the song. I give it a 4.75. I really, really fucking love this song. The next one is You Mask for It.
All the masks on display. There was no easy choice.
You got pets?
I like this. You got a guy who's selling masks, right? And he welcome. I see we have some heroes in training. But your face is kind of weird, so you did this special mask. And then in response to this mask selling individual, it's like different things have been cut in. Some of them are like blah, 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 just kind of like silly nonsense noises.
But I think that's Czarface. I think that's like Czarface going to get a mask, and they don't want to give him like that voice without the mask on.
No, well, I feel like. Yeah, but I feel like I don't think it was actually people. I think it really was like samples of stuff that they found online and like cut into it. And so it's totally like you can just picture Czarface and Doom or whoever coming into the mask store trying to get hustled. Oh, you need 2 of them, eh? And then he really like takes it to the next level. A mask lets you hide your identity. Hell, you just switch your mask, become a different person, have a mask on your side chick's place, you know? And it really gets a little bit whatever. And then my favorite response is when it's like, oh, this feels like it's a mistake. And I'm like, this is nice. This is a fun, really interesting song commenting on the value of a mask in society. And come to think of it, we all do need a little more masks, in my opinion. I give this a 4 on 5. I really enjoyed this.
Wow. I thought it was cute. I thought that they were still playing upon how, like, you know, MF Doom wears a mask. Czarface seems to have like this mask type face, or like this full like helmet that he wears, at least from the album cover. Yeah, pretty much dude at the mask stores trying to hustle them, try to get more masks. I didn't really get anything much out of it. I gave it a 3.
Okay, next up is Astral Traveling.
I whack a light, I stick him to move, I rip him in 2, I show him what the biscuit'll do.
It's always pleasant when Mr. Vinnie Paz shows up. We really need to touch some of his shit, I think. Let us know if you want to see us cover some Vinnie Paz on this album.
I might actually want to, because I have never heard of him.
Yeah, you have. He appeared when we did, what was it, The Locks? No, it wasn't The Locks. It was La Coca Nostra. He was on the La Coca Nostra album.
Jeez, that was like back in our first, like...
You should be paying attention, Chris.
I should be. Anyway, I like when Vinnie Paz, he comes in with this like hard, aggressive, his voice has got this uniqueness to it. I like when he goes, I'm dissing you too. You do a shit a pigeon would do, because being a rapper ain't something you fit to pursue. He Mr. Magoo, this blind dummy couldn't see the sentinel. And I was just like, oh, Mr. Magoo.
It's savagery, man. The whole verse. It's pure like mean. He's mean.
Mean. Inspect the Deck didn't impress me. There was nothing really there that was like super fire for me. And on verse 3, I liked when, and if I'm not mistaken, it's esoteric. I really only liked when he said, so I cop a feel kind of like a magic show. No, I can't say that. And I just found that to be a little bit comedic. He was trying to go and make this whole reference, but I guess in today's day, that's not something you might want to be touching upon.
Self-awareness is good.
But like, I think my issue is that it's lost its spark. I've gotten a lot of the bars, I've gotten the intensity, I've gotten the heaviness, and I appreciate it.
Folks, Chris does not like it when an album repeats itself a lot. So unless the songs are going to have versatile and diverse song content, by this part of the album review, and it's always around 11 through 13, Chris starts to give the part where songs sound the same and he has trouble loving them. Am I wrong?
Nope. That is exactly it. That's exactly it.
It doesn't actually make the songs worse.
No, they're not bad. It's just, it's me. It's like, again, this is my view and how I feel. Also, the beat changes.
It's the best part of this song.
The beat changes 3 times for the 3 different verses. But I gave it a 3.
Yo, I think Chris is fucking insane.
Yeah.
If you guys like this song, tell Chris he's fucking crazy.
Feel free.
So I love how the beat evolves. So every rapper gets his own unique experience with the beat. It still kind of has the same core sound, but it really flips up drastically. Vinny's just savage. Chris listed some stuff. I like when he's like, listen, you better listen to the rules, or this British bulldog gonna rip through your jewels. Now his tail between his leg and he licking his wounds, which is pretty good because he, the British bulldog, who's also a wrestler, kind of just tore apart this guy. Now the other guy's acting like a torn up dog licking his wounds. I'm a Custernado acolyte. That's a boxer, I think, or a mixed martial art. Anyway, he's a fucking fighter guy. So he sticks and then moves, which makes sense for the guy. I rip him in 2 and show him what the biscuit'll do. He just comes in and he's just like, fuck. And the way he says all that is just savage. His flow flips up a little bit. I like Vinnie Paz's voice. He's really, really good. Inspector Deck was nowhere near as bad as Chris made him sound here, and they ain't gonna turn on the light, so turn the beat down, have a seat down, you ain't even in my echelon, every hero's in peril, the weapon's drawn, I hear the plague was money, sex, violence, y'all doom, I'm immune to the virus. And I really like that, because he's kind of pointing out that so many other people are caught up in the regular vices that everybody gets fucking caught up in, all the heroes, all the people coming out there, like they're just pulling their weapons, they're acting like idiots, they're acting like fools. He's just like, you know what? I'm immune to that nonsense. I am better than you. And again, when he comes in like this older wise man boss type, I think Inspector Deck is proper. And wonder how I don't dumb it down but still get checks checking in another town. Yeah, I can't deny it. That's a boss line. The fact is he still can say a bunch of smart shit and he can still get paid. And he's old. And if all of those things are true, that is worth giving props to a dude for dropping. And I like, yo, I don't Snapchat. That's what the fans do. That's a great line. That's amazing. He's like, I don't have to social media. That's what peons do. I'm better than that. And he's old, so I'm cool with him saying it. It was so fucking good to me. I was super impressed with Mr. Inspector Deck on this one. I like what Esoteric's like. They trying to get to the bag. Get it? Because Migos and all them. I think that they mean the scrotum. Get it? Like your ball sack.
No, we didn't know that.
Let them decode them. Let me decode them, like Migos and all those guys. Unload them and show them the true power. They talk about the lyrics to raps. They ain't wrote them. To dead a hater is second nature, like stepping off an escalator. Plus, I'm holding a thermal detonator. Fly flow disaster like Tommy Wiseau. I died, man. If you have not seen The Room, you have done yourself a disservice. Go watch The Room. And if you've seen Disaster Artist, let me know how it is. But Tommy Wiseau is the most incredibly good sport in history. And he is good friends with the guy who owns the Dollar Cinema in Montreal. They have this annual viewing of his movie. Good shit. Either way, that line is extra boss for how bad Tommy Wiseau is as an actor. Doom is kind of less present on this song. He's ad-libbing. He's been on the hook. I get this a 4.5 on 5. Between the flowy nature of the beat, it almost feels like you are each guy's verse is in a different astral plane, and you feel yourself going through a portal. Like Bonnie and I are going to play Portal Nights later, and it's almost like you're traveling between the portals and the worlds and battling stuff.
Throughout the song, I mean, and after the first verse, you've got MF Doom going like, oh, and the tracks go this way, and then it come like he's announcing like it's changing.
Right.
You're aware of the change.
So he's like the narrator.
Yeah.
And yeah, what I'm saying is he's offering some nautical depth.
Man, they pop holograms, call them virtual thugs. I'm sinister. Hit a string.
All right, we are back with more intense bars, more intense beats. Chris, tell us how you feel.
I like this a little bit more. I like the rock feel to it. I like the drums, the bass on it is great. And everybody flows really well on this. Inspector Deck, I like when he goes flow like DiCaprio, Wolf of All Beasts.
Yeah, it's so good.
This speaks deep.
Because
like
Wolf of All Beats almost rhymes with Wolf of All Streets. I'm throwing it out there. It's a good line.
This speaks deep like Leviathan, boss with the crossfader, Lord Vader to a Kylo Ren. I was like, oh.
Oh, I had to Google this. Like I said, Kylo Ren is a Jedi who is less cool than Lord Vader, and he had a red lightsaber, so he's a shitty Jedi. So he's a Jedi, and that bar makes sense. But the fact that
I'm well aware. I've seen the movies.
Oh, I did not. Is that a new Jedi?
It's the new movies.
Oh,
it's
fuck.
The new,
I haven't seen any of the Star Wars. I haven't seen any of the new Star Wars. I don't know any of this shit.
Yeah, dude.
I feel kind of dumb now. I looked that up. I saw a Jedi. I said, nah, Lord Vader's better. Oh, shit.
Unfortunately, though, MF Doom didn't have anything that stuck with me. I felt like his voice was a little muffled over the rock beat. I felt like I couldn't really understand him.
No friendly warfare. This ain't wrestling. There's not. Anyway, go on.
Well, go on if you have something.
Because his Doom was good, man.
I'm not saying he was bad. I'm just saying like nothing stuck out to me.
Yeah, as long as Czarface wins, will be more talked about than Beyonce's twins. Dig it?
Yeah.
Again, Inspector Deck has some clever lines later on in this album.
Are people still talking about her twins nowadays?
I don't know, but when she was pregnant and she was having twins, it was the talk of the town.
But see, like that also makes me feel a little bit like it's going to be dated. Like nobody's going to care in 20, 25 years about Beyonce's like when she gave birth to the twins. They're going to be caring about what they're doing now.
Yeah, but you could say nobody's going to care about DiCaprio's Wolf of Wall Street, but I'm biased. People will care about that. That's a good line.
Okay.
I don't know what Kylo Ren meant, so apparently, like...
Kylo Ren's the character.
It already feels dated to me, having vowed never to watch the new Star Wars is. But that would... I don't know.
But it keeps up with the whole comic book, that whole science fiction feel, though.
But Doom is better. With no friendly warfare, this ain't wrestling. There's nothing staged over here because wrestling's staged, and it's a fake thing, Chris. In case you didn't know, they announced...
I'm well aware.
But just so that you know, it's not like fully staged. It's more like ad-lib choreography, so they kind of go in.
But isn't like all the fights, so like you already know who wins?
Well, you know who wins, but when they're huddling and shit, it'll be like, okay, Chris, I'm going to throw you into the ropes now, and then I'm going to do a suplex, and he's like, I'm going to do this to you, I'm going to do that to you, and then they execute, and then the next time they huddle, they plan it as they go.
So like when I'm like holding you, because I've been
wrestling is kind of like freestyling.
So wait. So you mean like after you've thrown my face into the mat, or like I've hit my face on the mat, you're going to like hold me and do that whole hold thing, and we're like talking?
Yes.
Oh, I thought they were just holding each other for like...
That's actually what they're
like,
doing.
You'll hold me up.
And then when the ref comes over, he'll be like, okay, guys, I need you to wrap this up soon. Vince has said we need to have this happening. Anyway, that's how it works.
So then, wait. What if like you were like, yo, I'm going to smack you in the back of the head with a chair. And I was like, no, but you still did it.
Go look up the 97 screw job. Anyway, he follows up with your tripping mescaline, because he's tripping on mescaline drinking. Could have been smacked for what he thinking. Would have said the word whack. Abe Lincoln. I don't fully get that, but I love the way it sounds. Vil still spends stacks off crack steak. Click crinkling. It sounds good, even if I'm not 100% certain what to take from that. What do you know? Police shows up, split his shitty 16 and got himself locked up. So here he's commenting on stuff like Bobby Shmurda, who kind of snitched themselves out in the midst of their rapping.
Mitch cut a body about a week ago.
Okay, sure.
That's the line that got him in trouble.
Sure. But still. Up his story had a moral. He's buried in soil. Vil put it in her back like an epidural. I like that because that's what you do when you're having the babies and shit. And kids eat, sleep, stay away from the creeps. It's a very good advice from your good friend Doom. Spit it from the heart. This game's for keeps. And I love the way he sounds. I love the way he flows together. Esoteric Scott, put you in a dirt like a garden gnome. Is that not the best start to a verse? Did you quote that? Was that one of your quotables? Okay. Hard as stone lies synchronized like steps of a marching clone. Steps of a marching clone, which is pretty cool because the idea of your lies synchronized with the fluidity of like an army marching in synchronization, showing that you're all organized mass of idiots. Well said, sir. Legion ruthless. My troops is far from parts of no one's like a minor human torch arson prone. I mean, and then my favorite one comes from him. Fighting Irish girls off me like Notre Dame while you're ripped and you're a sucker because you can't say no to dames. And I like the way he spits this knowledge there. Like, he has girls who want him all the time, but he has the wisdom to say no. But you a bit of a sucker and you can't say no to them. And he's playing off the rhymes. He's doing it all proper. The beat of this song is incredible. The flow of this song is as good as any of the other good ones on this album. I'm giving it a 4.5 on 5 again. What'd you give it?
Well, just so I can finish it.
Oh, yeah. You have more to say.
On verse 3, I liked when Esoteric was like, beat the rhyme sharp and tight, lethal mind archetype, darker than the Arkham Knight. And I was like, that was cool.
Yeah, that's fine.
I gave it a 3.9 on 5.
All right, Chris. It feels like my long speech got you hit with the stun gun.
But I'm okay. I run through rappers like Chipotle. I hope they get this shit together because
we got the esoteric solo song with Doom on the hook, yo. How'd you feel about this?
It was okay. More bars. In the first verse, I just felt like he was kind of just explaining how he's dope. He's doing what he's got to do. In the second verse, he kind of was like, oh, you know, like I felt like he was like, I used to be really bad, but now I'm really good. Now I'm making money, and now I'm like all gangster and shit. I like when he went, on the first verse. So ahead of my time when I sense savagery, the link won't expire until after the singularity. I was like, that's cool.
Yeah, it's pretty good. Tech jargon bars. Woo!
But really, that's all that really stood out to me. I gave the song a 3.5 on 5. My issue is that I'm not hating on what the album is, and I'm not hating on the beats or anything like that. It's just
that Chris can't listen to 16 songs in a row that are similar because he can't appreciate them uniquely after a while, and they blend.
Yeah, so there we go.
I'm not trying to be a shit. I've done this a lot of episodes with Chris. It's all the time. Just to go back to that, so ahead of my time when I said savagery, the link won't expire until after my singularity. I work for a software company, and dealing with expired links is a really challenging thing to do. And it's showing that he has the foresight and planning ahead that, in theory, his infrastructure is so set up that the links he puts into place in his life on his website or whatever are so powerful that they will never expire because he's so well put together. Whereas if you have an expired link, it means you had to go back in time and delete or change something, and then you fucked up and you didn't take away or update where that link was that pointed to that expired page.
Yep.
So believe it or not, the project manager and me got off on that line. It was well done.
Oh, Jesus.
The rating adjective to describe the way I hear the mic with a vengeance, unless I gotta beat a guy to use erudite in a sentence. Oh yeah. So erudite, and I added the genius annotation there. I put the definition. It's just kind of grandiose, really smart, really flossing intelligence, basically. So I really appreciated the fact that he kind of uses a word that defines the sentiment of what that. It's one of the most well chosen words he could have used for that sentence to make it profound. The grammar nerd in me got off on that. Now these haters can't compete. They pray to God. I'm fake, but I'm real, like a Trump tweet. Damn. That was fucking funny. I had a certain degree of amusement out of that line. I like the fact that they're not afraid to go there. I thought Esoteric's great. At this point, I was really feeling him the whole album, so to see him get a bit of a solo chance here, I appreciated that. I gave it a 4.5 on 5. I fucking liked it a lot. And you didn't, right? You didn't like it as much?
3.9?
That's fine. MF Czar will kick your fucking ass.
Before you hit the drum or the bass line, I bring it to a FaceTime, sip a.
This is, in my opinion, the last real song on the album featuring everybody. What did you think?
I like this one better. I like the beat to it. I like that heaviness. It had this trappy feel to it, actually, I felt. Inspector Deck comes in on verse 1. He goes one of the lines, a worker and a boss, that's an easy check because your boy rain fire like Khaleesi's pets.
Like the dragons from Game of Thrones.
I like that. Deck thorough, I wreck worlds.
I'm on a futuristic ride, homie. Catch me in Westworld. Westworld season 2 is coming in a couple of weeks.
Yep.
I'm so fucking excited. Yep. Westworld is got to be one of the most interesting shows I've seen. Holy crap, do I want to go to that theme park and have fun with the robots is all I'm trying to say. It got me excited. Go on, Chris.
I like the show too. Esoteric. Great verse. Great verse, but I guess I just don't I don't understand the language. I don't understand exactly what he's referencing or what he's coming off on. So there wasn't really much anything for me to note there. But he's talented, and I am interested to go and see his previous work and see what he's got, if he's gonna drop anything new after this, or if he's gonna make his own thing.
I think he's part of 2 groups. He's gonna drop more shit.
Definitely. And then on verse 3, we got Doom. I like when he went, watch how he make it all happen through alchemy. That's unimportant. Levels get deeper. True essence lives behind the mind of the seeker. Curiosity great, but efforts make you weaker. Relax, just be what's coming out of the freaking speaker. Eureka, his shit twisted scriptless. And I just like that he went Eureka at the end, and I enjoyed how he broke down making things happen like alchemy, just anything you want to do.
Oh shit, that Eureka line's really smart. Like when you have because the Eureka story comes from having a breakthrough and whatever, and Buddy runs up the street yelling Eureka, and I think the story had to do with something related to alchemy, or at least verifying precious metals and shit. So it's actually a really good use of the word. Yeah, so cool.
4 on 5.
Chris is like, I don't understand that. Okay, it's fine. I like. Anyway, I'll teach you after. I don't know. I thought it was pretty good. It's a good story. Look up the story of Eureka after. Inspector Deck. I don't know. I never wore women's clothes. So many rappers exposed, but anything goes. And I'm like, okay.
Young Thug.
But not just that. Like, Kanye is pretty fashionable. You might not like it, but like it's one of those things where it makes you sound like an old man to make a bunch of statements like that from my perspective. Now, I don't care how you feel about homosexuality, how you feel about this shit. I can tell you one thing. The guys in the 80s, the rock stars that Post Malone's singing about, who got all that ass in action, dressed like women, and they wore makeup, and it got them laid.
And really tight jeans.
So all I'm trying to say is, I don't really know why you're hating when a bunch of men, it's kind of been like part of rock star culture forever. And people are rock stars and that's what they're trying to be. Then the woman clothing and shit actually makes sense, you know, based on the era that everyone wants to be like. I did, and he's like, I'm from a different cloth and remain like hieroglyphic walls 24/7 in the kitchen ripping sauce. But it's like, it's really good, but you just made me think you like an old grumpy grandpa, and so it's hard for me to take you as seriously, but it was okay. I like when Esoteric's like, congrats, your teeth catch a dope slap, as in, you know, he gets hit in the face. Got your Strahan teeth, they're in a close gap. Thankfully, there was a picture of this guy in the Genius annotation, so it was funny to picture him now. He gets slapped and it causes his teeth to gap and shit, which is pretty fucking solid. Between us, your team seems sus. Freshly dipped like a painter with a clean brush, which is an interesting way. It's basically like saying you're the guy who went with your gun full of bullets and you got back from the shooting and your gun was still full of bullets, but instead he said it with like a paintbrush and shit.
You pussied out and didn't send shots.
That's exactly what he was saying there. I like when Doom's like lyrics, don't blow it, being heroic, don't make me tell you again, stay stoic. And Doom is extremely stoic, so it's probably cool, like keep your cool and shit. Nowhere near the radar, way below it, barely ever what they say they are and they know it. So is he again calling up motherfuckers for being fake a little bit? Let them be what they want to be. Proceed methodically, properly, something you got to test periodically. Ironically, as far as humans be, loyal's an oddity. As far as being snakes, though, it's probably be 2 out of 3. So again, he's commenting a little bit on how people are a little bit on the disloyalty thing, but he just words it so cleverly where you honestly just never know what he's going to say next. But he points out that the power of the wise mind is able to to be able to analyze these situations and call it a bullshit when it's necessary. And the fact of the matter is, from his opinion, from a point of wisdom, he's able to look around and unfortunately see that 66% of people out there is just spitting a bunch of bullshit. They're not who they want to be. They're almost getting emotional. I think he's taking shots at the fact that rap's turning into this emotional rock star phase and everyone's sad and shit. And Doom's just like, be stoic, spit hard. And nobody's listening to him. And he's very sad. I get this one a 4. I liked it a little bit less, but it was still a good song. And yeah, let's talk about Captain Brunch.
Sound off like a tea kettle. Blow the spot up lovely with no.
So this is Captain Crunch, but like remixed with a different chorus. He goes, all I'm trying to do is just make mine. Why a sideline rider trying to take mine? Because I shine like the sun, broad daytime. Puffin facts to the claps and the bass line. Cool. Oh, put in facts, sorry. Otherwise, it's just Esoteric and Doom's verse over a different beat. And it's Captain Crunch. And so all the lines I liked in Captain Crunch, I liked here. And I didn't like this beat as much, but I suppose it's cool to get the variety. It was a very weird album move in my opinion, but since I really dug the first song, I didn't hate this at all, and I gave it a 4.
I gave it a 2.5. I didn't get it. The same, like Holden said, the same lines that I like on Captain Crunch, I like on this. I don't really mind the beat change. I don't really care for it. I just, okay, it's different. The chorus itself, I get it. You're just trying to get what's yours and do what you got to do and be yourself. That's fine. If that means you're just going to replay a song but a little bit differently and that's how you're trying to justify it, that's great. But I didn't really see any need in this song. I don't know if...
I know, buddy. I said, I know, buddy.
So 2.5.
Before it ends, though, it does have a couple of kids, it sounds like, at the end talking, where the really young one looks and goes, he looks like a bad guy. And then the other one's like, nah, but he's actually a good guy as the song flips in. So technically, the lazy-ass genius annotators on the next track who wrote instrumental are wrong. And there is kind of this little conversation that flows into the next one. And I thought it was cool. I think it was just an interesting twist on it all. I don't know. I have no idea how this came to be. If you guys understand this, if this is like a classic Doom thing to do or something, let us know. That would be super cool. I appreciate your comments correcting us on all sorts of stuff. And we'll be the sleeping dogs who lie. All right, outro song, end of the movie. Shit's like basically over. Got some dogs barking, some Czarfaces, the kids saying that they're actually good at the end of it. Decent funky beat, and it sounds like the credits are rolling. It sounds like you can see the names going, and it's come to the end of this conclusion.
A Marvel movie. It's like you got the credits going, and then after you got that little break where people are gonna talk, do a little bit of, maybe there's be a sequel, and then the credits continue.
I don't know. I just felt like this was just the credits. I didn't picture the Marvel because I don't like Marvel movies much. But yeah, I gave it another 4.5. It's a perfect way to end this album. I mean, for the type of thing it is, really well done.
I gave it a 3. Doesn't bother me.
All right, so now that we're done with this album and we finished our little journey of Czarface and MF DOOM, Czarface Meets Metal Face, I gave this bad boy a 4.42 on 5. This was a great album for me to listen to. I had a lot of fun with the great rhymes. I'm plussed most of this album on Spotify. There's a lot for me to go back to. So many tracks that have replay value. So many things to even just teach me. I learned new words. I learned about new famous people I'm not going to care about later. I learned a lot. There's a lot of great technique showing. Inspector Deck's as corny as I could possibly want, while MF DOOM and Esoteric are hard as fuck and fun to listen to. The production is fantastic and stellar. A couple of them don't sit right with me, but most of them are pretty fantastic. All I have to say, I am so fucking happy that this is not my first Doom experience, and I was ready for this a little bit. How about you? How'd you feel?
I'm happy that it wasn't my first Doom experience. It was my first Czarface experience. My grade, I landed at a 3.52. Honestly, I think it's just because I'm looking for more diversity in terms of like the songs that are put on the album. Every song throughout the album was great in terms of like lyrics, how it's presented. Like they all got talent, they're all skilled, but I mean, I guess I just kind of get bored of hearing like how great you are by like track 13, track 12 after I've heard it the entire way through.
He'll learn one day, folks.
One day.
Learn.
One day.
I didn't mean to be a shit. It's just, I don't know. Most albums are that. But to be fair, Chris grew up in a more internet-filled life than me. My high school had actual compact discs in it. I think your high school life was past compact discs.
I had Eminem, the Eminem.
Yeah, but like in general, your music consumption was a little more fluid.
Yeah, I got an iPod.
It was more singles.
I got an
iPod. And so mine really was the 4 CDs. So maybe there's something to say about the lost art of album appreciation, you know? So if most of your music exposure came from a shuffle list and most of mine and the original came from the 13 songs on that project, it might change how we appreciate albums, which is just something I never thought of before.
We also got to be able, like, I understand that because you had to sit through the album and select the song and go for it.
Maybe you just skip it, but sometimes you're just going to hit play because it's all you have. You don't have anything else but those albums, you know? And changing albums is a fucking pain in the ass depending on your circumstance.
Well,
anyway.
Actually, how many of you guys had started off with all the albums?
How many of you are old as fuck like me?
The other ones, which one of you started off with the iPods and the shuffle playlist?
How many of you think I'm spoiled with my CDs and had tapes? And how many of you think the tapes were spoiled and have vinyls? And how many of you are 20 with a record collection? Okay, that's enough. Thank you all for watching. I really appreciate you being here. Like, it really means a lot to see your comments. Like, I never thought I would be reviewing so much MF DOOM, but your guys' reaction on our previous MF DOOM albums have been fucking really, like, honestly heartwarming for how open-minded a lot of you have been to our ignorance. So thank you for that. Let us know what you want to see moving forward. If you have any new albums coming out this year you care about. 2018 has been a fun year so far, in my opinion, for new releases. A lot more interesting than 2017, at least for new releases. Let us know what you want. Remember, if you subscribe to the channel, like the video, leave a comment, you enter into the contest, and that's good news for later on and for everybody. Have yourselves a wonderful week. We like you. We'll catch you with whatever you fucking see this video and all that good stuff. Peace and love and harmony and puppies.
Later, guys.
Bye.